Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another podcast of Joe Oriani. Podcast. My name is Joe Oriani, your unflappable host. Now, I didn't post last week because I was sick as a dog. I think that I had a head cold from hell, even while I was on my cruise, but it was definitely an interesting cruise to say the least. I apologize for the last podcast I put up, but I was sick and I wanted to check and make sure that everything worked okay. Why are my lips moving? The words coming out second. I don't know. I guess I'll have to fix that later. Anyway, to get down to business, I will be looking for someone to help me and pay them to set me up a website, a real good one where you can donate. And I can take maybe take your calls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or at least you can leave messages on it that I can respond to, good, bad, or indifferent. Just leave your name and where you're from. That's all it's required. Okay. Now, to start, I want to say I'm also going to get some business cards. I'm going to get the local businesses to hopefully donate or advertise on here. I have no more guests. Everybody's just hiding. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch a television series called The Naked City. And it was New York. And it says 1 million people all have a different story. I can't even get 52 of this. So anyway, I know you're not camera shy and you all think you have nothing to say, but like I tell you all do. If you don't, I'll get it out of you anyway. I just ask the questions, you just supply the answers, and we have a good time, whether you want to give advice or help somebody. I am going to start reading a book by a local author. It's about a cat. I'm sorry, Meg, I haven't got to it yet, but as soon as I do, I'll see how it is and maybe get you on and we'll promote your book a little bit. Hopefully you do the second book too. Anyway, let me tell you about the cruise. Let me tell you about my cruise. Anyway, I went down to Fort Lauderdale. We get down there. It was nice weather, gorgeous. Stayed at the hotel. And right around the corner was a place called Rustic Inn. I had a feast of lobster crabs. A total feast of all kind of Dungeness crabs, queen crabs. I was in total heaven. Clams on a half shell. I ate it all. I don't have, and once I get my website up, hopefully I find somebody that can do it for me. I will go ahead and post the pictures. For now, though, just trust me when I tell you I was in heaven. That night, it started to rain in Fort Lauderdale. I didn't think nothing of it. A little bit of rain, don't scare nobody. We got on our ship about 10:30, and we were supposed to sail at 3. But unfortunately, the celebrity ship in front of us was having a problem and didn't want to move. And then time came 3, and it came 5, and it became 6. And all of a sudden, the storm hit, and the waves were really high, and they closed the port. So we stayed in Fort Lauderdale until 10:30 that night, and finally left. It was really, really choppy. Now, we were supposed to go to Half Moon Cay, which is a nice beach and everything, but because we were so far behind, we had an extra sea day. We just finally made this kind of play bingo. We went to Grand Turks and Turks Caicos Islands. But before that, I have to tell you, the ships do not allow you to bring any plastic bottles on. And I'm very picky about my water. I like Evian and I like Fiji water. The stuff they sell on the ship is $5 for a bottle of water and it tastes worse than Dasani. I was looking for that. But the morning at the tables, you can either sit by yourself, a couple, or you can sit with people. I decided the first day I'm going to sit with people, be sociable. I wasn't totally sick yet. There were 2 gentlemen sitting there. My wife was on my right. Straight ahead was this young lady, about 45 years old, not bad looking, and her mother. And I asked everybody where they were from, and we got to her. To say I was rude might be an understatement, but I got to her and I said to her, "Where are you from?" He said, "Russia and Ukraine." I looked straight at her with a straight face and I said, "Are you a Russian spy?" Believe it or not, the rest of the table said nothing and they just looked at me. Me and her talked for a half hour. She told me she worked in a place where logistics, where she had the paperwork where dead bodies were covered. In other words, where radiation was coming up on the ground underneath the cities and Moscow was just covering it up. She wouldn't tell me what cities. I respect that. She told me she thought most people in Russia think Putin has dementia. And despite the fact that he's so big on a world stage, she said he is nothing but an ex-taxi driver or cab driver or something. They don't think very highly of him. So we went on to talk for about a half hour about the different little secrets of Russia, the thing of war, and all that stuff. I got up from the table and left. I thought it was probably the most entertaining conversation I had with anybody. I learned a lot. How if you have a security clearance in Russia, you need one to get around and you need one to get out of the country. You have to go and appeal, get one to get out of the country, especially if you have a security clearance. They don't let you go. A father's been asked since 1995 and he can't get out because he worked on other things that probably shouldn't talk about. So anyway, that was that. That was the first day. And of course, walked around the ship, did some things, and then we got the Grand Turk. Now, I will tell you that when we got the Grand Turks, the first thing I did when I got off is go hit my most favorite place. And that is a gas station. Was that there? Nope, it wasn't at Third Caicos. Anyway, we get off at Third Caicos. So let's go back to that. Because we didn't book anything. I'm trying to think. We got off at Aruba. I knew that. That's wrong. But anyway, Grand Turk Cape Island. Sorry, let's talk about that. I didn't get off. My wife did. I stayed on a ship and read all day. I started to get sick, so I stayed on ship. We went to Amber Cove, Dominican Republic. We got off and bought a couple plastic birds that my wife is all of a sudden getting into. We got to Caraco. Curacao, I'm sorry. Curacao was in there too. And I still was looking for my water. Got to Bonaire, still looking for my water. Finally, we got to Aruba. And I got to tell you, we've been to Aruba last year at the same time, and the same incident happened. And there is a place that is special to my heart. It's a Citgo station. And I walked across the street to the Citgo station and got my Fiji water. And people said, what'd you get off the ship for? Buy my water. They thought I was absolutely nuts. Maybe I wasn't. It didn't matter. I was amazed that I could find on a ship like 4,000 people. Every morning they would say hello to you. They'd say hi to you. They were nice to you. They chat. Why can't they do that off the ship? Is there something wrong? Is it the ship? What's the deal? Different nationalities, different people. We met people from different places who traveled to a lot of places. The same thing. On the ship, everything's cool. Hi, good morning. How you doing? How you doing? We going anywhere special today? Blah, 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 blah. The waiting staff was great. I went on Holland America Line for 10 days. I'll be doing 11-day cruise next year. Matter of fact, I'm doing a cruise in January, but that's on MSC for 7 days. But anyway, the staff was really good. They knew your name. I had prime rib and more steak. And then we went to one of the specialty restaurants where we had the biggest friggin' lobster tail you could imagine. They said it was a Caribbean lobster. It didn't have the same taste as North American lobster, which I like better. It wasn't, I don't know, but it was huge. We had that, and again, the wait staff was good. They got me what I wanted, gave me more if I wanted it. Surprised my wife because I asked them to give her something for her anniversary, gave her a cake. So in all, we gave them extra tips. And the stewards, the room stewards, all I ever tell them to do is keep ice in a cooler. And that's all they had to do, and they get a great tip. How that is. But overall, the ship was good. Fun in the casino. I lost about $500, but give or take, who cares? It's fun. I got a $250 credit. That's the problem with that. I got a $250 casino credit for my ex cruise, and we booked it the day before. I'm going to talk to my travel agent tomorrow and see what they can do and what they can't do. That's freaking crazy. So anyway, with that in mind, as I said again, there's a lot of things I'm working on. It's coming close to the holidays. And I looked at my schedule and I am totally booked. Maybe that's why I can't get any guests. I don't know. 30 minutes of your time won't freaking kill you. But again, I'll get my business cards. I'll be working on that during the week, setting up the website, and hopefully become a little bit more professional with this. And since I did almost 25 episodes, I think it's a good thing. I take it seriously when I do it. I like to have fun when I do it. I like to laugh with the people I'm with. Some are very serious. I'm so surprised. I did not get no feedback on the interview with Katie Smith, the second one. No comments, no questions. Nobody's getting abused in this world. This is so much great. What a country we live in. What a world we live in. I do notice it's broadcast to England, India, a few other places. So you're all good. Hey, life is grand. People are being treated good. Nobody's getting upset. Oh God, what a world. Now I surprised my wife the other day. I done Christmas songs last year on karaoke. And when she went in to get something in the store, she came out. And I had my Facebook set up where when she came in, I turned on the radio and I pressed play. The next thing you know, she hears is me singing on the radio. That's great. Oh, what a moment. I always like when I do things like that. It's always fun. It's always fun. This week is going to be a busy week. We got all our gifts. We got to get our cards out. I have to go to Disney Wednesday. I have doctor's appointments. I'm bowling 5 times this week. Busy. But I have time for you. If you want to get hold of me and you have something to say or something not to say, it's Joe Oriani podcast at yahoo.com or Twitter. I don't know if anybody uses that. Twitter, it's Oriani Joe 3. Any comments? Again, please feel free. 1 million stories in the Naked City. How many billion? 320 billion people in the country? Nobody has nothing to say. And I understand starting a podcast and working a podcast takes a year to even get a bunch of people. But please subscribe. Just don't listen, subscribe. It'll get to you automatically every time on YouTube or Red Circle or somewhere, Apple. And again, I'd like to wish everybody, let everybody know I'm feeling better. I just want $1 on my lottery ticket. I'm happy. I'm going Wednesday to see one of the property managers at Disney. Me and him are going to have a little chat. I like him. His name is Will. I wish him and his family a Merry Christmas. Other than that, I really don't have too much more to say. I don't like these short videos. That's why I like people. I like their reaction. I like their input. So again, let's start off the year right. Let's start off Christmas right. You want to tell me what gifts you got. You want to tell me how your Christmas went, how your day's going, what's good, bad, or indifferent. I am willing to listen and have some fun. Okay, so that is about it. So I will see you next week. And everybody take care.